The sun was barely past the horizon when the small colony on planet Ryler was bathed in the soft amber glow of a new day. Amidst the bustling streets and hum of futuristic technology, there was a quiet, almost peaceful scene unfolding just beyond the walls of the main settlement. Here, in a small, unassuming house, two children, Elizabeth and Evan, were about to embark on a grand adventure. Elizabeth, with her wild brown curls and sharp green eyes, tugged on Evan's sleeve. She was barely 8 years old, but her mind was a treasure trove of endless ideas and relentless curiosity. Evan, a year younger but already as tall as his sister, blinked up at her. His messy blonde hair was sticking out in every direction, his usual expression of determination softened by the excitement of the moment. "What are we going to do today?" Elizabeth asked, her voice filled with the urgency of youth. She already knew the answer, but the question needed to be asked. It was tradition. Evan grinned, his eyes gleaming with mischief. "I know just the thing." With that, he pointed to the corner of their living room, where an old laundry basket sat abandoned and forgotten. A relic of human life, often used to transport clothes from one room to another. It now had the potential to be something far more important. Elizabeth's eyes widened with recognition. "The basket? We could, yes," Evan interrupted, his voice low and conspiratorial. "We'll turn it into a fortress. A stronghold where nothing can defeat us. It will be our safe place from the invaders." Elizabeth's grin mirrored her brother's, and with a burst of energy, they both rushed over to the basket. Together, they flipped it onto its side and crawled inside, pushing the soft fabric walls to their liking. The laundry basket, which had once seemed so ordinary, was now a bastion of human ingenuity. Elizabeth made sure to set up the basket's walls with the precision of a seasoned engineer. She tucked the corners in, strengthening the structure. Evan, never one to back down from a challenge, started collecting all the available items they could find. Old pillows, discarded blankets, even a few mismatched shoes will be our shield against the galaxy's worst. Evan declared proudly as he arranged the pillows into a barricade at the entrance. Elizabeth nodded, a serious look on her face. The invaders won't know what hit them. As the two worked, their small house slowly transformed into an intricate battlefield. A battlefield of the mind where the line between fantasy and reality blurred. For them, there were no mundane chores or responsibilities. There was only the mission to defend the galaxy and, by extension, their fortress. In a moment of realization, Elizabeth pulled out a small device she had found among the piles of unused tech in their home. An old communicator that had been left behind by their parents. She tinkered with it, and soon it hummed to life, crackling with static. "Message sent," she said with a sly smile. "The fleet is on its way." Evan paused in his efforts, glancing at his sister. "You think they'll come to help?" Elizabeth looked at him, her eyes filled with mischief. "I'm sure they will. They'll know we're under attack soon." The two sat quietly in the laundry basket-turned fortress, gazing out through the small gaps in the fabric walls. To anyone else, it would seem like a simple game. But to Elizabeth and Evan, this was no game at all. This was a war, and they were its leaders. The commanders of an invisible army taught suddenly. A loud roar echoed through the air, followed by the sound of footsteps. Their heads whipped around in alarm. The floor trembled slightly, and the very air seemed to crackle with anticipation. Elizabeth's eyes grew wide, and Evan's hands instinctively clenched into fists. "The invaders are here!" he shouted. Elizabeth reached for her makeshift shield, an old plastic toy sword that had been left in the corner. She held it out like a warrior of old, prepared to defend her fortress to the last breath. Just as she raised the sword, the door to their fortress opened, and standing there was their father, holding a tray of food. His face was filled with amusement as he watched his two children prepare for battle, oblivious to the fact that it was lunchtime. "Are you two still hiding in there?" he asked, his voice warm with affection. Elizabeth lowered her sword with a sigh. "It's not hiding, Dad. It's defense. We're protecting the galaxy." Evan nodded vigorously. "And we need reinforcements. There's a full-scale attack happening, and the fleet needs to move." Their father raised an eyebrow. "The fleet? You know, I think your mother has a bit more food for your fleet in the kitchen." "Reinforcements," Elizabeth said quickly. "We need supplies." Their father chuckled, placing the tray down and stepping inside the laundry fortress, carefully avoiding knocking over any of the pillows. He crouched down, pretending to be a fellow soldier, and saluted them both. "I'm reporting for duty." "What's the mission?" Evan grinned. "You're a scout. Go get more food. We'll need it for the battle." Elizabeth nodded gravely. "And the backup troops. We can't win without backup." As their father left to retrieve the supplies, Evan and Elizabeth huddled closer together in their fortress. There was a sense of pride in their hearts. A laundry basket, something so simple, had become a monument to their resilience, their creativity, and their undying spirit. In that moment, they knew that no matter what the universe threw at them, be it alien invaders, galactic wars, or the day-to-day grind of growing up, they would always find a way to turn even the smallest of things into something extraordinary. And when their father returned, carrying the food and reinforcements, they would be ready. Because the galaxy may be vast, and its challenges many. But the spirit of humanity, especially the spirit of two young adventurers like Elizabeth and Evan, could never be broken.